Well, this is my little pocket pond that holds water. A lot of clay down in here. Anyway, we're gonna make this thing bigger. So Adam's on the excavator for the day. Like I said, first time he's, in fact, this is the second scoop he's ever made with an excavator. And looks like he's figuring it out. Anyway, this is our project for the day. I'll show you what it looks like at the end of the day. I'm sure we'll end up losing all the water that's in here with this process, but I hope to have the pond, or it's still a pocket pond, but I hope to have it just come out like this. Just keep it narrow width, but just go longer. Anyway, that's the project for today. We'll keep you updated on it in this video. Well, we're not too far into this, and it's actually moving pretty quick. Kind of changing as I see what he's doing. I'm changing things, but at first I said keep the same width and let's just make it long, but now I'm like, let's go to about right here where this is and give it some good width here. Anyway, you always end up with more dirt than you need, or more dam than pond. So I told him we're gonna end up taking the skid steer where this is coming up. We'll take the skid steer and grab it and kind of push it out the back and spread it out where these wood chips are. We can still take more soil over here. And also said he could just start making piles there. We'll come back with a skid steer and move it. But yeah, I'm happy with this so far. The only thing this excavator doesn't have is a thumb on it, which on the bucket it has a thumb, so you can actually get in and pick up a big rock and lock it down, pick it up and move it. But the rental company just doesn't offer them. I don't know if the renter just beat them up and break them or what, but they didn't have it as an option. Well, this is what Adam got done with the excavator. This is our mound pond. This was a pond that always held water, so I guess it's got a lot of natural clay in it. You know, I told him just focus on digging the hole. He put some down back on the dam, which I'll need to go in there and kind of scoop it back, which I've done a little bit of it. And then I've got this mound here, and then I was taking some down at the gate over there yesterday. I realized when they gassed up my skid steer, they didn't put the gas cap back on. Anyway, today I'm gonna move these piles and I'm gonna put them on the road I'm trying to build, and I'll show you that. When I bring the first bucket over there, I'll show you the little road again. Anyway, I'm gonna get started on it. Okay, so you can see it right there. I'm just trying to build a road up, down, and through there. So I'm just gonna take what we dug out and start taking it down there to get started on it. I'll show you some progress pics here in a little bit. So I'm bringing another bucket in, but just showing you what I'm doing. First of all, this dirt right here was from my vetiverse well. I had put it in a dump trailer because it's a pretty long distance, and then dumped it over here. But my wife's like, hey, what are we doing with the dump trailer? Can I put trash in it? And I said, yeah. So she had a feed sack with some hay string and stuff in there. I'll pull it out. But what I wanted to show you is, you know, clay on your property. It's color coded, and this is something Zach Weiss told me with Water Stories. If you haven't been on their website, Water Stories, he's a brilliant water retention expert. Anyway, he was out on my property building some ponds, and he had told me that, you know, once you find the clay, it's color coded. And you can see it here on my property. It's kind of a rusty colored brown. So this is clay. I'm not saving this because there's a lot of rocks in it, so we're just going to use it on this road. But as you look down, you can see that's clay right there. This is where I'm taking the mound pond. I'm kind of starting there and connect this way. Anyway, you can definitely see the color difference, and that's why, you know, when you're going to build a pond naturally, you've got to remove the dirt in layers. You know, you may have, I don't know, 0 to 3 foot of topsoil, you know, good black dirt, and then you got this maybe gravelly layer where there's rocks, and generally that's where the water's traveling, and underneath that you'll have the clay. So the rock layer above it is, I mean, I guess they call it gravel. of the 3 layers I had when Zach was building the pond, he was calling that gravel. Anyway, I think the water's running through that layer, so you can start looking at the rocks, and if you see them kind of rounded and stuff, that kind of gives you an indication. I mean, there's clues all over the place when you get the education on what you're looking for. I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I'm working on it. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going on this, see if I can, at a minimum, connect that to this, and then I'll show you a view of it coming from this way. I just turned 180 degrees, and this is the original pile here. But as I'm coming down, I'm picking a different track, and you can see all my little different tracks here. So I'm actually using the tires here to compact it down, just taking a different route each time. I don't have a way to set the camera in place, but I was going to show you how I was spreading this out. First, you can see this is the last pile I just dumped. As I'm dumping it, I'm moving backwards to kind of spread it out, and then I go back over it. Let me see if I can get in position and do it one-handed. I get back over it where I can see the teeth. Let me raise it up real quick. I wish I had a flat blade, but I only got this one. Basically, I'm going to scrape it backwards, but the level is going to be at this spot here. So I'll place that where I want it, at the level I want it. And then I'm going to go backwards. You can kind of see it spreading it. It's usually a two-hand operation. I'm moving the bucket up and down. So I may have messed up. Let's see. No, it's okay. So I just leveled it off. Now I'm going to go back over it to kind of tamp it down. So I'm back over it. I put the blade all the way down, and then I tilt it down. And then I'm just going to drive backwards. And there again, a lot of times I'm lifting the thing up and down based on hills, but I got to do this one-handed. Anyway, so that worked out okay. So you can see what I did. I dumped it, I spread it, and then I packed it down, and it's actually looking pretty nice. It's one of those use what you got things. Sometimes, because my little tractor has a flat bucket, I'll come do the spreading with it. But right now, with a flat bucket, you can pretty much do it all in one drag. But with the tooth bucket, I got to spread it and then pack it. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that real quick. All right, let's kind of see what we got here so far. I'm not quite done yet. I probably got, I don't know, 10 more bucket loads to bring over here. So I wanted to show you the low spot. I didn't get levels or surveying equipment out here, but it's pretty obvious. You can see the rut. You can see the rut right here. So this is where the water is traveling. So this right here is a low spot. So this right here is a low spot, and I think the camera shows how it continues to go uphill from here. So I'll end up having the road go all the way over there. I'm not gonna. I know the first thing is in a big rain, this is gonna wash out. I know that. I got a skid steer. I'll fix it. But what I wanted to show you, you know, if when you're in a dry area like I am, I know there's other parts of the country where they get too much rain, but we don't. We don't get too much rain. We're fixing to get in our rainy season for a month, and then for the next 3 months after that, it's going to be 100 degrees for 3 months straight almost. Maybe exaggerating a little bit, but not a whole bunch. But the water flowing down through here, I mean, assuming this is going to have grass on it, but even this 2 or 3 inch height, that's going to stop the water. That's going to stop the water, and it's going to settle in right there. Now, I'll end up, like I said, I'm going to let it, if I don't get this done before the big rains come, it's going to naturally just, I imagine right here, just cut a rut through it, and that's okay. I'll probably end up putting a culvert here and try to get it up maybe 18 inches here, which will still be lower. It's going to still be way lower than the 2 high spots here, so this will still be the low spot, just a gradual, 18 inches, but it's still going to it's still going to be the low spot here where it's going to drain out. But with a culvert, I can control it. You know, maybe it holds 3 inches of water and then goes through the culvert. You know what I'm saying? You can start controlling stuff like that. But when you start looking at downhill water flow, any height adjustment is going to hold water. It has to. There's no reason, there's no way it can't. And I'm trying to think of the YouTube video I watched, which was pretty interesting. I think it was Bill Mollison, not Bill Mollison, Andrew Millison. I'll put it in the comments. But there's a big concrete canal, I guess, going, I don't know, it's the Colorado River, and at some point it turns into concrete canals, maybe going through a desert region of Arizona or New Mexico or something. But so it's this big concrete thing to take the water. It ended up being what this is. The natural water, let's say they only get 10 inches of water a year in that part of the country. This area next to the concrete is green because the water coming down hits this concrete wall, and so there's this big green patch out in the middle of a desert, and it's not from the water in the canal, it's from the water from the rain that just gets blocked at that canal. Hope that makes sense, but I'll put that video in the comments because I think it's pretty cool, and it kind of shows you it starts you rethinking of everything you do. The littlest thing can hold a little bit of water. A little bit of water becomes a lot of water. Anyway, I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll probably come back one more time before this video ends. Okay, well, I'm done over here with moving. You can see I got it all the way up to about right here, and it's nice and level. Now when you look behind it, you'll see the dirt's all choppy. That's one bad thing with a skid steer. Whenever you turn around, you make these donut marks in the dirt. So I'm gonna get the tractor, which doesn't do as much damage, and I'll use the flat belt blade on it to level this stuff off. But I guess the plan for now is you'll see some hay down here. Yeah, you see that little pile of hay right there? That was a round bale, and I pulled them off of it early. Anyway, I'm gonna seed all of the road, then I'm gonna spread that hay over so the seed don't wash out, and that should hold things together. And I think all this will hold together even if we get some rain once I do that, especially if the seed sprout. I mean, like I said, I do expect a washout over there, but that's okay. But yeah, that's one bad thing about the skid steer is you tear up some ground. Now in the pasture here that I'm going through where I'm tearing it up, you can't really see it here. I mean, I'll just place a round bale over the little swirly marks and that'll heal it. Anyway, let's head over to the pond, see what it looks like now. Okay, so all that stuff you just saw was lined up over here. I'll still have some up against the pond edge. There again, at this point I need a flat bucket. I'm using a tooth bucket. It's hard to, you can go in and just pull it back and then come back and scoop it. But I'm gonna use a flat bucket on my tractor to do that. Same thing on this side. I don't need it this high. I'm going to, like I said, just grab it and just start pushing it back, pushing it back. Let me get out of the skid steer real quick. I wanted to show you my deep root zone. So we've got a neighbor, this fence up here, there's a neighbor up here, and at the time, I wasn't trusting that for my cows, and it's also a steep slope here. Instead of replacing that fence up there, I just built a new fence down here, and so I call this my deep root zone. That's where everything can grow to size. No cow's going to be on there. I mean, past that, I guess deer can get on here. But this allows everything to go to flower and seed. So this all can actually seed my pasture area. I'm not obsessed about a monoculture. But you can see there's white flowers, there's milkweed, there's yellow flowers. There's also one of the things out on my place is native blackberries. I get them, but they never get the size. Oh, actually, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna show it to you. I saw this a couple years ago, how the yucca plant was saving the blackberry plant, because I don't think a cow or a deer is gonna stick their head in the yucca plant because they're like needles. So they show up all over my property, but they never make it to maturity. Yucca is going to make sure it does, and because it does, it's going to seed it, you know, and then the birds will eat it and replant. Anyway, deep root zone. I also throw brush in here. I think I brought some wood chips up here, you can see over here. Anyway, it's pretty cool. I mean, you can see, yeah, you can see the butterflies in the picture there. There you go. Anyway, deep root zone lets everything grow. The roots are deep in the ground. The flowers can go to seed. Nothing lost. Anyway, so then we get back down here. So anyway, I would have liked a more gradual slope in. I mean, basically gonna have to just let it rain, let it fill up, and then all the debris is gonna fall to the bottom. And next time I get an excavator out here, we'll clean it out again. Adam was supposed to, I think it was going to work till 5, and then left it. He had to leave at 2 o'clock, which was fine, but we didn't get to finish this. But I think it's a very good start. Want to show you some more. This is a mound paddock. Want to show you some other stuff out here real quick, and it comes down to water flow. You can barely see it now, but this was kind of a V funnel thing that flows in, and right through here I actually put a little berm here as a sediment trap, and it used to be a pretty decent drop down, but as I'm looking, it's actually filling in. So all the water running down here, which you know I've got erosion here, is traveling down here, and because of that berm, it stopped it here, so it's filling up. So these are just little things you can do to improve your property. This little hill right here is why we call it the Mound. This was my first project when I bought the land, and this, yeah, as you can see here how this just drops down. Well, we had another drop about right here. We had another drop that was probably about 6 feet, and I was just stacking all the brush in there and then covering it with dirt. And then past that, I started, like, the mound was here. I kind of scooped this out to kind of make a moat around it, so we'd have standing water, so that water would soak in and get to the wood buried down there. I mean, just like I said, when you're doing projects like this, just think about water, you know, especially, like I said, if you're in a dry area like me. Anyway, I think we're gonna call this project done. Like I said, we'll get this scooped up. Okay, well, I think I've said everything I need or want to say, and I hope you guys have a great day.